Welcome once again to today's program. I am still your hostess, Dibianwangu Uchendo. I hope you're all doing well. Well, I have come to propagate Ordinary Igbo spirituality, to talk about its restoration, to talk about our very own indigenous spirituality. Please do join me. Let's do justice to today's topic. We will talk about Ojukwu, the mighty and powerful spiritual tree. Ojukwu is an osisi mmụọ, very, very useful and very, very powerful. Coincidentally, it is also a spiritual tree. You see, many of these people who are choosing to serve, who have a divine call, some of them have Ojukwu as a spiritual tree. Yes. So we continue to elaborate more on Ojukwu. It is a natural tree from the universe with powers that follows anyone that comes from a spiritual ancestral lineage. It is often mistaken for the palm tree. Ojukwu is a class of its own. Akwu Ojukwu dị iche na akwụ nkịtị. So if you know the difference, you'll be able to understand the particular palm tree that we are talking about. You know, palm tree gives out a palm nut and a whole lot of things because it's very economical and it's also a spiritual tree. Being that I am a Dibia, I'm going to talk about the spiritual aspect of Ojukwu tree and also the economical aspect of Ojukwu tree. So it is often mistaken for the palm tree. It is another class of palm tree. That is why you hear it being called Akwu Ojukwu. The tree is supernaturally endowed with natural powers to neutralize charms. So if you are a charm monger, Ojukwu tree will be used to neutralize that charm. You know, charms have a category. So you bear this one in mind. They have categories, okay? So Akwu Ojukwu can also neutralize negative energy and dispel evil omen. So Ojukwu is so powerful that when somebody is poisoned spiritually or physically, Manu Ojukwu is extracted and given to the person by applying it on the body, or either the person takes it, spoonfuls of the oil through the mouth or through the anus as an enema. It can also be rubbed on the body. It depends on the situation. It depends on the kind of issue the person is having. Particularly, it works against poison, physically and spiritually, like I said earlier. Though osisi Akwu Ojukwu sprouts by itself, all right? When we talk about spiritual trees, they are those trees that come out by themselves. They are sent from the spirit realm. They come out by themselves. They are not planted. All right? For the real one that has spiritual backup, that comes from the spiritual realm, it comes out by itself. Nobody plants it. It will come out. As long as you are in good terms with your powers, with your spiritual guide, it will definitely come out by itself. I am not saying that it cannot be planted. You know, some people can take the palm nut and decide to plant it by themselves. It is possible too. But for you to know, it comes out by itself when nature and the universe is pleased with you as a chosen one. When your powers want to assist you, you see they come to you. Trees like ngwu, ọjị, akpụ, n'ochie, ebenebe. We have a lot of them. Anunuebe. They come by themselves. You see, when your akwara is very, very sacred and sanctified, you notice that it comes out like a small plant. Before you know it, it will blossom and start growing into a tree. So most times when Dibias see this, they use what is it called? They use clothes and some sticks to make demarcation, to shield it so that people will not ignorantly step on it or uproot it, thinking it is a weed. So that time it sprouts out, any of these spiritual trees sprouts out. If the Dibia is in the spirit, he will be able to know, he will be able to discern that this is a spiritual tree. Most times when the Dibia is doing the consultation, using, let me say for example, Afugili, the tree might start talking to the Dibia via that Afa Ugili. Dibia na-agba afa gbabazie afa. Ya bụ Ojukwu, ọ bụ na ọ pụtago na the compound, ma na ọ na-abịa abịa, it will start telling the Dibia, I am coming to your house. I am coming to Akwara gị. Or, look at me, I am here with you. Can't you see me? Or, I am here with you. You have to do the needful. Do the needful is acknowledging it. And maybe tying a tree, a white cloth or yellow or red, to signify that this is a spiritual tree. For those novice, ndị ofeke na-amara ife a na-akọ maka ife mmụọ, for them to stay clear of that tree and allow it grow and come out properly. So it talks, it speaks in the spirit. All right? So, ihe mmụọ ka na-eme. Don't be surprised when I always use this term, ihe mmụọ ka na-eme. Because for one to be a dibia, you need to be spiritually inclined. If you are not spiritually inclined, kezi fi jibulu dibia. Ọkala mmadụ, ọkala mmụọ. Half human, half spirit. So it is very, very important that you are always sensitive, you are always alert in the spirit. If you are very good in Igbo Afa consultations, using the Ugili or Bodoga or whichever one, Baka, the Ojukwu tree will speak to you. It will talk. It will announce its presence. It will equally tell you if it is coming out to be with you on this journey, assuming you are a chosen one that have divine call, and it is one of your backing spirits. All right? If Ojukwu tree is one of your spiritual backup tree, you understand? So everything about it is unique. This is why Osisi Akwu Ojukwu sprouts by itself. It is special and highly medicinal. In Afa language, it is called Okaluofu. As it speaks in the spirit realm like every other spirit, as a messenger of the gods. Like I illustrated earlier when I told you that Obolo Nebu Dibia Mbo Afa and you are using Afugili, you will notice because Ojukwu will announce its presence. Or whenever that Afugili is being casted, it will show Okala Ufu because that's the name. in Afa language. So, therefore, it is pertinent for any chosen one to know their spiritual trees, for it indicates areas of spiritual specialization for a dibia. Agbaala gị afa mili emi, pa ga-agwa gị na ị nwere osisi mmụọ, akpọsịsịalụ gị afa ha, kpọọlụ ha gị afa ha, ya bụ osisi mmụọ so gị wee bịa ụwa, maka ha bụ mmụọ na-apụ apụ. They are sent on errands. Any balanced dibia knows this, because you know there are sleeping dibias. Enwe dibia na-alalụ ụla na-amara ife ọ na-eme. Ụdịrị dibia na-alalụ ụla dịka dibia ndị anụwa ya bụ after ha gọcha mmụọ. Those dibias that after they declare their intentions over the kola nut, they end it in the name of J-Boy. Fa gosi ọjị, fa sị n'afa n'afa nwa David. You understand? So these can be termed as sleeping dibias. They are sleeping because if they are aware that this is a spiritual journey, that this is ordinary Igbo spirituality, they should know the difference, the differentiation between ordinary Igbo spirituality and imported religion. So that is why I use the term the sleeping dibias, so you don't misunderstand me. Enwere dibia bụ ọkpụtọlọkpụ na-abụ ọgọcha ọjị, o were afa nwa bekee wee mechie nya bụ ọjị ọgọlụ. Adịghị eme eme. You know, most of our people, they do this ignorantly. Even some in this ordinary Igbo spirituality. After breaking kola nut, they use they praying over the kola nut, they use J-Boy's name to break it. So I'm telling you today that any dibia that does this is a sleeping dibia. Because that dibia ought to know ndị kpọrọ ya oku. They ought to know their spiritual guide. They ought to know the indigenous name of that mighty power that called them to serve. Chineke, Chukwu, ekekere ụwa. So once you want to break the kola nut, you say, Kangolu kolel. Abịa na-anọ izu na-anọ n'ala Igbo. Na-eke, Orie, Afọ, Nkwọ. Not saying, not them saying, I'm breaking this kola nut in the name of Jesus. So let's not digress a lot. It is pertinent for any choosing one to know their spiritual trees, for it indicates area of specialization for a dibia. Anyone who has the spiritual backings of Osisi Ojukwu is immune to charms, or gwadatuya, or spiritual poison, as the natural ability of it is a neutralizer of all sorts of charms directed to them by evil people. Once you are in good terms with your spiritual tree, no matter what is done against you, if you have Ojukwu as one of your spiritual tree, Ojukwu stands firm as a spiritual backup for protection and a back-to-sender projector. It can be identified by the extraordinary shiny one color all over its nuts, unlike palm nut tree that has combined colors of red and black on its nuts. Onye ọbụla nwere Ojukwu osisi mmụọ na-akwụ chim. Nwere ihe ọbụla na-eme ya ịgbagodi ụta mmụọ kwụ chim. Maka ya bụ osisi mmụọ si wee bịa ụwa kwudolu n'akụkụ ya. Ma ọ bụ na ya na mmụọ ya dịkwa na mma maka ihe niile bụ gị na mmụọ gị dị na mma, gị na chi gị dịkwa na mma, gị na ndị kpọrọ gị oku, gị na ya niile dị gbado na mma. If you are not in good terms with your spirit, oh, too bad. That is why you need daily communication, with your spiritual guide through imanzu, through igo mmụọ, igo ọjị, igo ọfọ. In whatever terms you use, in whatever terms you feel comfortable in expressing yourself. In English, you can say you are doing your daily affirmation, daily declaration, or stating your intention. Because most people don't know that we do not go more like we used to pray in the church. All right? You can sit down. You can do that, sitting down on a chair. For the women, you sit sideways on that same chair. If you're using a stool or an armless chair, yes. You sit sideways. Why ada agba mmụọ ngada? You just have four niru mmụọ. I see a lot of dibias do that. I don't know whether it is out of ignorance or maybe they are feeling so comfy that they think that is the norm. But a male dibia can do that, all right? But for the female dibias, they ought to know this, that they sit sideways with their thighs or legs closed up. Then they sit sideways. And you continue with whatever you are doing. But what do you see these days? You see a lot of them, they spread their legs, spread their thighs right in front of their abu, right in front of their shrine, like a man. So, if you have Ojukwu tree, you're as good as a bulletproof or juju proof or deshi. You have natural odeshi. Yes. That is why you hear tales of somebody being shot at and nothing happened. The bullet didn't penetrate. Aside from going to do charms. Ojukwu is a natural charm by itself. If you are so lucky that Ojukwu is one of your spiritual tree, and if you are in good terms with it, I bet you, nothing the enemy does against you, they will never succeed. Nothing they do will penetrate your body. You will be naturally protected. So this is why we urge people who have divine call to acknowledge them, acknowledge your spiritual trees. You have to acknowledge it. You have to welcome it. The traditional way, the spiritual way that it is being done. I'm not going to say everything out here, but you have to know this. Even if you are not called to serve, you should know the spiritual importance and spiritual aspect of Ojukwu tree. That is why it is highly revered in an Igbo. Maka no osisi balulu, osisi dile, osisi mmụọ. I will always tell you, time and time again, that Igbos are a spiritual tribe, a spiritual race, whoever you want to put it. We are more ourselves. That is, if you identify yourself, if you know who you are as an Igbo person. It is not this generation of Igbos that I'm talking about. The ones that talk carelessly, that lack respect for their elders, the ones that don't even know the answer and they live anyhow. The ones that behave and copy indecent behaviors all over the place. No, not this generation of Igbos that are wallowing in every evil vice, social vices. No. I'm talking about the Igbos that are conscious, the awakened Igbos. They don't know more. What if Igbo more no me? Imani welunso. You don't talk anyhow. You don't live your life anyhow. You acknowledge the spirits that are in your ancestral lineages. You acknowledge them. You feed them. You energize them to achieve your full potentials here on earth. Those are the ones who should know about these spiritual trees. And if perchance you are not awake but merely listening to my voice, you need to wake up. Ọ bụ na ịbụ onye Igbo, ikwesị itete n'ụla ma ị na-anụ onu m ka m na-akụzi ya bụ nkụzi tata. Ka ị mara na Igbo bụ mmụọ. Ana ya dị mmụọ a na-akwa aka. Let me repeat myself again. Igbo bụ mmụọ, anyị adịghị mmụọ a na-akwa aka. A spiritually conscious nwafọ Igbo does everything possible to respect their ancestral lineage. You know? They take care of what their ancestors left behind for them. Because that is their powerhouse. A spiritually conscious Igbo person will always know about the covenant, ancestral covenant in their ancestral lineage. What the church people term today, what the foundational whatever or ancestral whatever, the way they say it, it is filled with negative vibe, negative connotations. But I want to tell you today that you need to pay attention. Ọ bụrụ na enwere njirimara dị na ezinụlọ unu na agbụrụ ebe isi wee bịa ụwa, take note of it. It is your key to success. It is your key to achievement. It is your key to blessing, your key to protection, your key to everything you are looking for. If you neglect your source, don't you know you will dry up? Ị ga-tata taponike. When you have an ancestral Obu, you neglect it, or you are the one that invite people to come and do family liberation and rain fire, useless fire that is not doing anything, that will even plug you into calamity. You need to be very careful. Find out. Find out your backing spirit, your ancestral spirit. Is it Ogugu? Is it Udo? Is it Ngene? Is it Ngwu? Is it Amadioha? Is it Akwali Omumu? Odo Omumu? Emumu? There are various names for Odo Akwali Omumu. Some call it Oda Omumu. Some call it Emumu. There are other names for it. Find out. You sit up. Look for a rooted ordinary person that will put you through. And you connect instantly. Because our ancestors have covenant with these powers, with this ancestral. It's very natural. Of evil, or demonic. Ignorance is a killer. Ignorance is a big disease. Find out. But most of you will not find out. You go to listen to what other people are saying about your originality. You go and listen to the negative news they spread about you. Whereas you are there, you are the son of the soil, bona fide son of the soil. You neglect your source. So why would you suffer? If you know your source, why would you suffer? If you have these spiritual trees, aside from Ojukwu that I'm talking about today, why would you be suffering? Find out what it takes to feed and energize them. Malon Soha. As I'm saying, You should find out if you have those spiritual trees. I have mine, Ungu. I have Oji. I have Akpu Okalete. I have Ojukwu, Neochie. We have also Ofo tree. We have Anunuebe. Huh? They are spiritually powerful trees. And there are implications if you go and cut them down, whether knowingly or unknowingly. You need to find out. There are some communities that don't regard them as spiritual trees. That I'm aware of it. But in my own community, you need to be very, very careful. Are they more anyhow? You don't. Do you know the spiritual implication? Are you prepared when the spirit fights for itself? So you should know all this and keep off. A lot of people, in the bid to, destroy their culture and tradition, destroy their spirituality. Some of them say that those trees are responsible for whatever they are passing through. Then after cutting the tree, if an how many times will you be fooled? How many times will you continue to fall for those gimmicks? You cut an innocent tree. That even those trees, they have economic values. Some of them can be used as tourist attraction sites. But no, we will go there and gather them in the name of family liberation. And you'll be telling me that a tree is responsible for your woe. Well, I don't know what else to say concerning those people who are ignorant about the spiritual potency of those natural trees. You need to know today that Ojukwu is a very powerful spiritual tree. Very, very powerful one. So, like I said earlier, it can be identified by the extraordinary shiny one color that is all over its nuts. It's very, very different from the ordinary palm nut tree. That one, please, sorry, it's not an ordinary palm nut tree too. Because you will know that these trees are so powerful. Ma palm tree ma Ojukwu itself. There are various spiritual works you can do with it. You can save lives using it. If you have that as one of your ability, as one of your spiritual gift, you will understand where I'm coming from. You will understand what I'm saying. But if you don't have the spiritual ability, or if you don't have that divine call, you need to know that this tree is like this. It has spiritual ability. It also has economic uses. So, therefore, there is a difference between the two. Akpu Ojukwu has one color. Then the palm nut has combination of colors, red and black. So why am I saying this today is for people to know that Ojukwu tree is a powerful spiritual tree. That anybody who has it as osisi mmụọ is a healer. Yes, you have that ability to heal. Because naturally, it protects. In fact, it has multi-purpose uses. But the dimension I'm coming from today is for you to know that Akpu Ojukwu is a powerful spiritual tree. Whether the nut, in fact, everything on that tree is spiritually powerful. And it also has economic values. You don't cut it anyhow. And you don't plant it anyhow. It comes by itself. Except people who take the nut and want to plant it. All right? So today, You need to know if you have a spiritual tree, or once you see it in your compound, in your family, you should know what it stands for.